We'll start with Liberace.
Ah, well, he was just, you know, he was a personality, a huge personality, and he had no huge ego about it, but he knew the kind of thing that he wanted to do and how he wanted to be seen. And again, it was one of those situations where he'd go, "Kevin, I'd really like to do this," and I'd go, "Are you sure you really want to do that?" "Well, what do you think?" That's what I liked hearing.
And you mentioned off camera that he was a family friend of yours?
He was. He was. And so whenever he was in, this was when I still lived in Michigan before I graduated from high school. And whenever he came to town, he would come, very often stay at our house. But he would come, and my father, who was a singer and also played the piano, his job was as a manufacturer, but he was a singer since he'd been a young man. And he and Liberace just hit it off. And they'd sit at the piano, and boy, I wish I had video of all those times, because they were delightful.
Judy Garland.
Well, you know, she was another of those people that could be a really pain to work with. And I was hired to do something with her, and I said, "You know, I know that you have opinions of your own, but I'm here as the director, choreographer, the director. You tell me what you'd like, and I'll tell you if I think that that's good for you. And if it's not, I'll do everything I can to change your mind." And Judy was Judy. She was another one of, there's nobody like her. She opened her mouth, and I just went, "Oh, please."
Barbra Streisand.
Barbra I was engaged to be married at one point in my career, in my life, I mean. And she was my fiance's roommate. And at that point she was going with Elliot Feld. So the four of us would double date often. And it's another one of those times when, you know, we'd go out and people would go, "Look."
And what was she like as a dancer? Did she want to do a lot of movement?
She was another one that really knew her limitations, and if I asked her to do something that she was not comfortable doing, she said, "Kevin, could you change that? Because that doesn't make me comfortable, and I really prefer to be comfortable." I'd say, "Well, take an A out of your name."
Elizabeth Taylor.
Well, you know, she is known as one of the most beautiful human beings on the planet. And it's true. I was working with her with one of those benefit situations where there are a lot of females, and I worked with them all separately, and so I went over to her house to work with her. And we were working, she said, "Oh, Kevin, it's so stuffy, and let's go for a walk." I said, "Oh, are you sure? A walk?" She said, "Yes, Sunset Boulevard's right down here." I went, "Oh, yeah, sure." We were walking down Sunset Boulevard with Elizabeth Taylor. She said, "It's okay." So we're walking down there, and I kept going. She said, "They won't believe it's me, because they wouldn't believe I would be out here." And it was true, because people would be walking by, and I go, "Do you know who this is?" And they went, "Well, she looks like Elizabeth Taylor, but it couldn't be her."
Jerry Lewis.
Oh, well, he was Jerry Lewis, you know. I'm the funny one, he would say. And he was. He had punchlines more than I do. That pissed me off, you know. It was like no, he was very funny.
And Cher.
Cher, just totally unique. And it was just wonderful to go, to pick up the phone and call Bob Mackey and go, I'm working with this artist named Cher. He went, you're working with who? Cher. Well, what do you want? I want you to make her look really beautiful all the time, he said. Well, I can do that. And he did.
Gene Kelly.
Well, he's one of my heroes. And I had seen him in films and everything before.
So Gene, being a dancer and choreographer himself, what was he like taking direction from another choreographer?
Well, fortunately, he respected me enough to say, Kevin, you tell me what you think would be best here, and I'll tell you what I think. And then between us, we'll decide. So that's the way we worked. And that's the way I always work, you know. And fortunately, I've gotten to the place where I have enough respect from other people, where if I say, if that's what you'd like, and that's not what I'd like for you to do, you know, there's this other person over here that I know you're aware of, and I'll be on the phone with them, and I'll get them to work with you. You'll be very happy. And then so will I.